I have a story, and this one has a happy ending. It goes back a ways more than 30 years. But I had and still have, in fact, a patient who came in the late 80s, early 90s, and he was married, and the patient had HIV, so we started to treat him for HIV, and he did well, and he's done well over all these years. His wife was HIV negative, and at the time, the real recommendation to prevent HIV negative in the wife was what we call behavioral and not medical. In other words, don't have sex with condoms, that kind of thing. And he and his wife did well on that sort of abstain plus condoms thing for quite some time. And from time to time, they would ask about, well, what if we want to have a baby? And my answer was always the same. This just isn't the time. And we really want to keep both mom and dad safe here. And if he stopped using condoms, I mean, we thought there would be a chance that he would become HIV positive, and then there'd be a risk to the baby. And then one day he and his wife came in and said, we want to have a baby. And the tone was different this time. It was, we're not asking you for permission anymore. We're telling you that this is what we're going to do here. So can you help us out? All right, so just give me a week or so to figure this out, and I'll see you next week and we'll figure it out. Well, this was now late 1992, early 1993. Steve Scheibel had left and was in San Francisco. So I called him on the phone and said, he knew the patient, he knew the patient. Said, what do you think? What should we do here? He said, there isn't any precedent for it, but it just makes sense that if you treat the wife with HIV drugs, that you would stand a good chance of preventing HIV in her and preventing HIV in the patient. But this really wasn't known before that. That information would come 2 years later. So Scheibel usually was ahead of the curve. So we did it. We put her on this regimen of HIV medicine. And when he was in the office and they were getting ready to go, he had a big smile on his face. And I said, okay, you're good to go, but please just make it fast here. Just do it and get it over with. In other words, I expect results, pregnancy results quickly. They did. And during her pregnancy, we saw both of them, the patient and his wife, regularly to just check on how the drugs were doing and that sort of thing. And at the right time, they had a baby who was HIV negative. Mother remained HIV negative, baby was HIV negative, a win. So over the years, he would bring the kid to appointments. And the kid always had either a pencil and paper with him, like practicing his numbers, or he was reading a book. And I watched this kid grow up. And finally, 17 years later, both parents come into the office and said that, I'll call him Junior. Junior is graduating from high school. And this is the good part. He said, and he has a full scholarship to Columbia University Journalism School. Geez, we did it. Got this kid into college. We all just laughed and stood up and had a group hug. It was like we were dancing over this remarkable achievement. But as I tell my younger staff people is, you can get early wins and it feels good, but sometimes you have to really wait for it. and it's worth waiting for.